There comes a time in every chosen one's journey when heaven stops whispering and starts confirming. It's that quiet shift, when the weight of who you are begins to reveal itself not in noise, but in stillness. You start noticing it. You no longer crave attention, you crave accuracy. You no longer chase platforms, you look for alignment. Something deep inside you starts saying, I can't just move like everyone else anymore. That's not pride, it's spiritual precision. Heaven is refining your steps because you've been entrusted with something strategic, something that can't be placed in just anyone's hands. When God gives authority, it's never casual. It's sacred. It's personal. It's built through tears, waiting, isolation, and obedience when no one was watching. You see, not all power is the same. There's power that comes from gifting, and then there's power that comes from trust. And the authority you carry, the one that's been growing inside you for years, is rooted in trust. God didn't just anoint you because you were available. He anointed you because you were consistent when it didn't make sense. You stayed faithful when doors stayed closed. You forgave people who didn't even ask for forgiveness. You prayed when your heart was breaking. That's where strategic authority is formed, not on stages, but in secret places. You didn't learn leadership by studying systems. You learned it by surviving seasons that tried to destroy you. So when I say you carry strategic authority for this hour, I mean heaven has assigned your voice, your spirit, and your presence to move in divine timing, not before it, not after it. You've been trained for this exact moment in history. And even though you might not see how yet, heaven has already confirmed, you are trusted with something rare. Chosen one, authority is not given randomly, it's assigned intentionally. There's a reason your life didn't fit into ordinary molds. Every delay, every disappointment, every not yet, was part of your divine preparation. God has been forming in you a kind of strength that doesn't come from applause, it comes from endurance. That's why the old version of you couldn't remain. Heaven was recalibrating your identity for strategic deployment. Strategic authority means you are not just a believer, you're a representative. When you walk into a room, you don't just bring presence, you bring permission. The Spirit of God uses you as a gate through which His will flows. It's why sometimes people around you shift when you enter. It's not intimidation, it's recognition. Their spirit feels that yours carries order. When God gives you strategic authority, He gives you insight others can't see yet. You begin to sense movements before they happen, feel atmosphere changes before anyone speaks, and recognize when something is not aligned with the Spirit. That's not paranoia, that's discernment refined through obedience. You see, when heaven assigns someone strategic authority, it's because that person can handle not just blessing, but burden. You've been built to carry weight others can't hold. And your assignment is not small, it's structural. You're meant to establish stability in a time of chaos. Your role is to carry heaven's pattern into environments that have forgotten what truth feels like. This is why the warfare has been different for you. Because you don't just represent yourself, you represent a kingdom blueprint. And the enemy knows that if you ever fully step into your confidence, entire regions will shift. So this season is not about proving your worth. It's about realizing your assignment. Heaven is saying, I can trust you with more. You may not have noticed it, but there have been signs all along. Signs that your authority isn't ordinary, it's strategic. Your words carry unusual weight. When you speak, things move. Even casual conversations seem to echo deeper than intended. People remember what you said years later because your words were charged with heaven's resonance. You sense alignment before action. You've never been the type to rush into things. You feel things first. You discern atmospheres, motives, and timing, because your spirit has been trained to move only when heaven moves. You attract both honor and resistance. Those with divine authority always carry a dual effect. Some are drawn to you without knowing why, others are irritated by your presence. You didn't do anything, your light simply exposes intentions. You experience isolation before elevation. Every strategic authority goes through a hidden season. You were pulled away not because you were forgotten, but because heaven was downloading clarity. You can't lead nations while still craving validation. Heaven confirms you in quiet ways. You see repeating numbers, divine alignments, prophetic dreams. Doors open when you least expect. And though your mind doubts, your spirit knows, this is not coincidence, this is confirmation. And finally, you carry peace under pressure. Even when things fall apart, there's a strange calm within you. You don't collapse like you used to. That's not detachment, that's mastery. You've learned how to operate under heaven's rhythm, not human panic. Each of these signs points to one truth: you've been trained for impact. You don't just exist in this generation, you influence it, even in silence. But make no mistake, every ounce of strategic authority attracts warfare. Because darkness knows the danger of a chosen one who understands their placement. The attacks haven't been random, they've been targeted. The confusion, the sudden loss, the betrayals, they were all designed to drain your confidence. The enemy can't take your authority, but he can try to make you doubt it. He can make you question if you really heard from God. He can surround you with people who see your humility as weakness. But here's the truth: the very thing the enemy tried to use to break you has become your badge of trust. Heaven doesn't give authority to those who haven't faced contradiction. You proved your stability when the storm couldn't move you. And maybe that's why lately, you've been feeling the tension, a kind of invisible pushback every time you try to rise. That's not a sign to stop, that's a sign to anchor deeper. Your resistance is proof that your assignment is live. You're not fighting for position, you're fighting for preservation. Because authority isn't sustained by charisma, it's sustained by character. And your character has been forged through fire. The very wilderness that once made you weep has now made you wise. You no longer react, you discern. You no longer defend, you stand. This is what mature authority looks like: stillness that scares the enemy. Because stillness means trust, and trust means power. So the next time you feel the warfare rising, don't panic. Smile quietly. Because heaven is saying, we can now trust you in higher realms. Chosen one, you're now stepping into activation. This is where your authority moves from understanding to demonstration. God is about to place you in environments that need what you carry. You won't need to announce yourself. Your spirit will do the talking. Your presence will establish alignment without a single word. People will begin to seek your counsel without knowing why. Doors will open where you were once rejected. The same rooms that overlooked you will now feel incomplete without you. This is not arrogance, this is activation. Heaven is deploying you. But here's the key: move in gentleness, not performance. Your authority is not loud, it's layered. It doesn't need spotlight to be effective. You're going to feel a shift soon, an increase in spiritual awareness, prophetic clarity, and divine confidence. That's heaven installing new codes into your spirit. You're being given strategic visibility, just enough light for your next step, not the whole journey. And when the moment comes, you'll realize something powerful. You don't have to try to lead, heaven already positioned you as one. Your authority will activate through alignment, not ambition. You'll move naturally, gracefully, and with timing that shocks even you. So stay grounded. Keep your heart soft, and your spirit sharp. Because the same spirit that trusted you in silence is now trusting you with influence. Chosen one, this is where it all comes together. Heaven didn't choose you for convenience, it chose you for consistency. You carry strategic authority for this hour because God found in you a heart that won't misuse it. You're not the loudest, not the flashiest, but you're the most trusted. And in this generation, trust is the rarest currency in heaven's economy. When God finds someone who won't twist power for self, He releases strategy for nations. And that's what's happening to you. You are being quietly promoted in the spirit. People won't see it right away, but heaven already sees your new seat. You've graduated from survival to stewardship. You've shifted from pain to pattern. You are no longer just enduring, you're establishing. The things that once broke you now bow to you. The storms that once silenced you now strengthen your voice. And through it all, heaven smiles, because you passed the test. This is not the end of your story. This is the unveiling of your trust. You carry authority that shapes outcomes, not just opinions. When you pray, angels move. When you speak, atmospheres align. When you step in faith, history bends around obedience. You have become a vessel of divine order in a chaotic world. And that is why your journey was so heavy. Because heaven only gives rare trust to those who have proven they won't waste it. So walk in humility, but don't hide. Move with grace, but don't shrink. Heaven didn't raise you for comfort, it raised you for command. You are not just anointed. You are authorized. This is your hour. And heaven has whispered your name across dimensions saying, "This one can be trusted." You can support the channel through the link in the channel's bio. Your kindness helps us continue spreading light and love. God bless you.